Hello, my name is Lillian Truax and I am a part of Team Lunar, and this is my demonstration for the final sprint of game balancing. This is our build, our newest build in Perforce. Before I open it up, because there was a bug within the splash screen, I did want to show you that I fixed. Fix when the sprint meter shows. So the sprint meter is showing on the splash screen when the game loads. The sprint meter shows up when the player first enters a level, is for the expected result. The actual result is that the sprint meter shows on the splash screen when the game first loads. Just go into the exe file and load the game. That was the steps to replicate, and I fixed that to make it so the sprint meter only shows up when the player first enters the level. I have 45 minutes logged on here. And I'll show that to you now. As you can see, the sprint meter does not show up on the sprint screen, but if I were to start the game, it shows up at the top when the player first enters the level. My next bug that I fixed for the sprint was the volume sliders do not save. So the summary is that the volume sliders do not save their position for other users when they go into the options menu and change the positions. If they exit the menu and go back, the positions of the volume sliders do not save. The expected result is that when other users exit the menu after changing the positions of the volume sliders and go back into the menu, the sliders should have saved the positions. When other users exit the menu after changing the positions of the volume sliders and go back into the menu, the sliders will go back to their default positions. This switches the steps to replicate, enter the level in game, go to the options menu, change the positions of the volume sliders, exit the options menu, go back into the options menu. It was a pretty high severity. I have 3 hours logged here, but I can even do it a step further. So this is our main menu. We did change the name to Shattered Sanity. The options menu is right here. I can change the volume sliders, save, back, going back in, and they are still saved, and I can even do one better and completely exit the game, go back into it, and they will still be in their saved positions even after exiting the build. So I'll just put these back into the regular positions. And so this is our main menu. As you can see, the options work. I can even go into controls and those work. Controls also is up here. That still works. This is our level select. All of these do work. We do plan to include some of these, just UI will be different. Credits, those work. And then exit game does work. Alright. Let's start the game. One of the things that I also worked on is actually towards the beginning of this game. So there's a monster. Tutorial. Alrighty, so the next thing I also worked on was creating an in-game dialogue for the area being too dark. We did see that a lot of people were getting thrown off by the area that's too dark. They tried to find their way through the darkness when we really want them to go straight and find the flashlight first. So we wanted to create an in-game dialogue for that, kind of to push the player more towards the lighter area, towards the flashlight. So create a dialogue text that will show up when the player is within a collision. This collision will be placed where areas are too dark and player needs to get a flashlight. I have 1 hour logged in here. Alright, I believe it will show up right here. It's too dark to see in here, could really use a flashlight right now. That is that. Alrighty, and oh, he did catch me. Alrighty, let's retry. Oh, okay. Let's retry again. Oh, he did catch me. Alrighty. I think he seemed to kind of just run off. Alrighty. So something else I also did work on. Oh, there's one right here. I'll show that. Alrighty. I also worked on the position of the battery meter. The battery meter currently sits on the bottom left of the screen, changing the battery meter on the top left under the sprint bar. So I have 30 minutes logged in here. We just saw that the battery meter position before did not really work as well. It also conflicted with some other UI. There it is at the top right under the sprint bar, and it does work as intended still. This is a great segue for another thing that I have worked on. Alright. I worked on collectible UI. So as a player, when collecting collectibles, I want to be shown that the collectible was picked up and how many I have. For the collectibles, a widget will be made that shows an icon for the collectible as well as how many the player currently has. So the completion criteria, which are subtasks here as well. A widget with an icon for the collectible appears when first collected. A count next to the icon that shows how many the player currently has. And I have 4 hours logged. I believe this one is 2 hours. For a widget will appear on the player's viewport with an icon that represents the collectible. This will appear when the player picks up their first collectible, as well as this one also has 2 hours. There will be a number next to the icon for the collectible. This number will be correlated with the amount of collectibles the player has picked up. This is visual feedback to the player telling them how many they currently have. Throughout playing this will be a demonstration because the collectibles are laid out around the level. Alright. Okay, so he seems to be over there. Oh. Seems to be going. Now where's it? Oh. I do think there was maybe a collectible over there, but not too sure. But as you can see, I do have one from when I collected that before. Let's throw that over there. Ooh. I do believe I have a great chance of dying again, so I will show you one of the other things I have worked on just in case, because it does pertain to the lose screen. I will showcase the win screens later, but for right now, the win and lose screens. As a player, I want the win and lose screens to match the scenery of the main levels as well as tell me some individual stats that I completed on my playthrough. The win and lose screens will be changed to match the hospital theme and that the final levels encompass. The win screen will show the player stats that they have completed in their playthrough. These stats include number of collectibles, number of times died, time it took to beat the game, time spent hidden, and number of bottles thrown. The one specifically, since I'll be dying at some point, is the lose screen matches the hospital theme. When the player loses by getting caught, the lose screen will match the hospital theme of the levels and make more sense to the player. I spent 2 hours here. That is finished. Ready? The other one is over there, and that's what I want. How about I do that? Over here. I kind of want him to go and be over there. Oh, get away from me. Okay. Another bottle. Oh, wow, he's in there. Okay. Let's throw this over there. Okay. Oh, and there was a collectible over there, so I will show you. Now it has two because I collected 2 collectibles. Let's get out of the way. Collect one of those. Again. Yeah. Stay over there. Ah. Go back down. And here is another collectible. Now you can see the number is really binded to the number of collectibles the player has gotten. He looks like he's right there. Go over there. Okay. Alrighty, so it does look like we're going into our next level. So I will show you the windscreen. Alrighty, so windscreen matches a hospital theme. When the player wins the game by escaping, the windscreen they will see will match the hospital theme of the levels. In turn, the windscreen will make more sense to the player. I have 2 hours logged here, as well as the windscreen shows individual stats the player accomplished in their playthrough. When the player escapes both levels and wins, the windscreen they will see will have individual stats that they have completed in their in-game appear on the top left of the screen. I have 3 hours logged for this one. Alright, so this is the windscreen. My team members, Gavin and Keith, actually came up with the functionality of gathering these variables. I binded them to the widget as well as created the widget as well. So you see it's kind of abandoned hospital, somebody running. It says you escaped the basement, but will you be able to escape the main floor? This has a restart level, continue, and quit. And number of times caught, 3. Number of collectibles gathered, 3. Time it took to escape, 8 minutes, 42 seconds. Time spent hiding, 1 minute. And number of bottles thrown is 6. Let's continue. And this will bring me up to the basement level. Still have my flashlight. Have a bottle. Oh, okay, I can show you the blue screen right now that I was showing you before. It does have an abandoned hospital walkway. It has blood splatter, and it just says you were caught. So I believe that I feel that matches the hospital theme a little bit more. Yeah. So let's do this again. Okay, he's right there. Alrighty. Let's go on. I'm going to quickly find my way through here. You can still see me, so I'm being quiet. Let's move our way through here. We do have a generator. And here is a collectible. As you can see, even in this level, the collectible UI as well as the count still stays up. Move my way over here. Here is the crowbar for not the crowbar, but the wrench for the gauge tutorial. I have to find some way through there. This is definitely interesting. Oh, there we go. Sorry, the position was changed and I got a little lost. Keep looking over there. Oh, that's not good. Okay, good. Ah, stay away from me. Woo, you almost saw me. Let's get back up from crouch. Now I got a crowbar. Perfect, and I can show you the durability for the crowbar, the collectible. Alright, I'll actually show that to you right now. Give me 1 second. There we go. Alrighty. So, create a durability tick display on the crowbar widget. Create ticks on the crowbar widget near the icon to display the durability. The ticks will go gray or disappear when the player uses the crowbar and loses 1 durability. I have 1 hour and 30 minutes logged here. The ticks do disappear, so I'll show that to you now. See the 3 ticks at the bottom, and then 1 disappears when the use is all done. And the second one disappears. Oh no, okay. So that is the win and lose screen. The same is for this level. Let me get back to it. Well, those were the win and lose screens of my tutorial. The same win screen for here was the win screen for the last level. The durability ticks for the crowbar, as well as the collectibles UI, the sprint meter, battery meter, and the in-game dialogue were all shown. I did playtest the build. Here this is a playtest the build to make sure that everything works as intended. If there are bugs, make a bug report and fix them. I did do this on, I believe, Monday, and I have 1 day, so 8 hours logged. Alrighty, that is my playthrough and presentation of my task for JIRA for this final sprint for game balancing. Thank you so much for watching.
Hello everybody, my name is Michael Baltazar, proud member of Team Lunar, and we will be going over my contributions to the final build of So That No One Will Cry. So if we boot this up, now I must preference beforehand that we did change the name to Shattered Sanity. So So That No One Will Cry is now technically just a prototype name for what we're now calling Shattered Sanity. But before we get to that, I would like to go over the Jira task we have. So what I was assigned to is uh, mainly build playtesting, but I do have some subtask completion criteria over here. So as a player, I want to run the game, make sure there are no real issues, and I can enjoy my experience. Right? I'll playtest the build to make sure it's working properly. This also checks over my previous code, which, as you know, was the AI detection mechanic. So I made it so that it's working and it doesn't point to every enemy, just the ones that can kill you or basically cause a game over. So for the completion criteria, we have fix the bug for the AI detection, which will stop glitching after it depletes, all right, with no smooth transaction. All right. If possible, I can help other people with problems that I have, and I can help the other teammates. And then you might even be able to look here uh, to make. I also did it so that I made sure that the AI detection wouldn't just point to the darkness enemy, which I'll show in this playthrough. It only points to the main enemy that we are currently worried about. For he's the only one who can cause a game over. So if we start the game, all right, tutorial. Oops, going ahead. Just gonna do that right there. Just making sure I didn't forget anything. Okay, so we just oh, roam him around for a bit. Just wait for it's gonna do a bit of gameplay right here. Let's see if we can just make it through. Oh, that's there. Well, I think it's best that I just show you the mechanic right now. As you can see, there's an enemy right there. Oh, it's probably a bit hard to see, but you can see that enemy right there just wandering around. That's what we call our darkness monster. You see, it doesn't point me, but as you noticed, it didn't make the darkness the AI detection didn't pop up when the darkness monster was chasing me, but the base enemy was alerted and the icon popped up when he was nearby. So that was one of the main key features that I worked with. I also spotted out a few bugs here and there when it came to some of the options like music music volume, master volume, SFX volume. So we'd save, go back, like open it up, and although I didn't although I didn't help, well, I didn't help with the coding. I did give some suggestions on how to tackle this. So gladly it was fixed. And if we can resume, we'll probably just do our best here to maneuver. Oh, seems that we were seen and we were caught. So as you can see, the AI detection instantly fades away once you're caught, and it doesn't stay when you respawn in. That was another bug I had to fix, and thankfully it works properly now. And with all that being said, you see it fades away. As soon as you're not detected, it'll just fade away. And honestly, with all that being said, I do believe that's everything that I've worked on for the for this sprint. I did work on a piece of code that was not used for this build at least, but it might be shown later. And that was a keypad mechanic where you basically have to get a key code from a certain area and use it to open certain doors. And with that being said, I hope everyone has a nice day and talk to you guys later.
Hi, this is Keith Patty with Team Lunar, and I'm going to be showcasing the JIR tasks and the work that went into the final sprint for our project, newly named Shattered Sanity. So I'm going to load up the build and quickly go over the JIR task. There we are, and go over to here. So our first JIR task is to create the collectible blueprint to be placed throughout the level for the player to find. The user story is, as a player, I would like to have something hidden throughout the level that I can collect and challenge myself to find and collect all of them in a single playthrough. As a designer, I want something in the game to encourage multiple playthroughs of our game and increase engagement for the player. It took me 7 hours and 15 minutes to complete this task, and its completion criteria is as follows. The blueprint for the collectible has been created and the mesh has been implemented, allowing it to be picked up. The functionality for tracking the number of collected has been implemented. The number has been bound to the windscreen and displays upon completion of the level, which actually got lumped into another couple of numbers to track that we had decided that we wanted to display to the player on the windscreen. So I'll go over that as well, because I just kind of took all of those and took care of it under that task. And then fifth is the windscreen display has been tested to see that the number collected is properly being tracked as the fourth completion criteria, and then fifth is the collectibles tracked value on the player save and reset with checkpoints. So I'm going to load into the toy box level because it'll be really easy to demonstrate all of the things that I just talked about. And I'm actually going to go over to just hit a checkpoint, but you can see that the collectibles are right over here. I'm going to grab one, you can pick it up, and then head over to the checkpoint and let him get me. And we can see the one that I didn't pick up is still there. I'm going to grab it and throw a couple of bottles just for bottle throwing's sake. Just to display something else there as well. So I'm going to let him catch me. You can see that the collectible is back. And I'm going to leave it there when we go to win. Gotta clear some. That way. And I'm going to go to interact with this. Get this open real quick. windscreen. All right, so we can see that I got caught 3 times. I only gathered one collectible, which we know we had to at one point, and we reset the checkpoint. So we can see that the windscreen is displaying the number that is actually possessed by the player that they got on the level. And even though there's only 2 bottles in the level, I threw 4 throughout my entire play. So that number is properly tracked and not reset at checkpoints. So these 3 right here, times caught, the number of collectibles gathered, and the bottles thrown are the 3 numbers that went into this task. I just kind of was already working on this and just decided to kind of lump these 2 in with it. My teammate Gavin Wood, the time took to escape and the time spent hiding, which needs the actual skill check lockers, which are the final product lockers in the level, not the ones we have in the toy box. So that's why that's not displayed in anything. So I'm going to head out to the main menu, and I'm going to talk about the. Actually, I'm going to start up the game because the next thing that I want to show is actually in the level, but it'll take me a little bit to get through it. So I'm going to quickly kind of speed through this and get to the part where the mechanic comes out. Alright, so now we've gotten to the part with the bottles, so I'm going to jump over to the Dreer tests here, and I'm going to display the export that I want to talk about. Alright, so refine the bottle throw to decrease the height of the arc and ultimately have it follow the path more accurately. As a player, I want to be able to throw my distraction mechanic without it traveling higher than the predictive arc displays, resulting in the bottle bouncing off the ceiling. It took me 6 hours to complete this task, and the completion criteria is as follows. The bottle has been reworked to travel in a straighter path from where it is thrown, and the bottle has been tested in levels to ensure that it doesn't hit any unwanted surfaces. All right. So I'm going to jump over to project again, and here we are, where the bottles first come up. Have this spot right over here, and you can see now, I'm going to throw it in this room here, just see that it's much more accurately following its predicted path. It is able to be adjusted, and it'll follow the line that you expect it to and land where it is supposed to go. It's much more effective in the levels. This way it feels a lot better. I'm a lot happier with the result of the bottle throw now that it's actually working out. And I just wanted to do it in the level just to demonstrate that it is working as intended. And there is one more thing with the bottle throw that I do want to get into for the next task. And I'm actually going to jump over to a bug that kind of sparked the whole thing. So here it is. And also all of these bugs with the bottle throw have been worked out as well. So really quick, the bottle throw takes 2 clicks of LMB to throw, left mouse button. You can see that now I'm throwing it, and it's throwing first time every time. That actually resurfaced again. They can't throw the bottle the second time if they canceled it. I fixed that as well. You can see it's all working properly now. And this one right here is the bug that sparked the next year test. Throwing the bottle or releasing the bottle throw, canceling it, does not enable crouching for the player. So the summary, releasing the bottle throw does not re-enable the player's ability to crouch, despite having full movement enabled. the player should be able to crouch after canceling the throw is the expected result, and the throw is canceled and crouch is not possible. And then these are the steps to recreate it. Pick up the bottle, click the right mouse button to aim, release it, and then try to crouch. And then throw the bottles by repeating steps 2 and 3, except clicking, or 2, and clicking L and B to throw. And then the crouch will now work. That took me about an hour to fix. Got that one working again, and then decided to go into it and work out. So altogether, fixing the bottle throw took me, with the clicking, probably took me about 3 hours total. And then reworking the sprint took a little bit of time for that. But I'm going to get into the next user story, aside from bugs, which is to just allow the player to walk and crouch while aiming the bottle, and do not allow them to sprint. So the user story is, as a player, I would like to be able to move within reason while aiming and have the ability to crouch without having the trajectory of the bottle distorted. The completion criteria, the sprint has been restricted while aiming and movement has been allowed. The path of the throw, I might have wrote that one up twice. Whoopsie. Oh yeah, that's not supposed to say that. So sprint has been restricted is supposed to be a different thing. Okay. Sorry about that. So the sprint has been restricted while aiming. The path of the throw has been adjusted based on the camera position for crouch. The player is allowed to crouch while aiming. The bottle throw has been reworked to allow the player to move while aiming. And you can see these completion criteria are all separate. Bottle throw reworked, sprint restricted. And total time on this task was 1 hour and 20 minutes. So quickly, I'm going to go back into the project, and I'm going to just demonstrate that you can, in fact, move while you're holding a bottle and aiming it. And you can even crouch. And the other thing that I do want to talk about, too, with that is that you'll notice, even though that I'm crouching, the bottle trajectory line still seems to follow a good path. It doesn't change, and if you throw it, it'll still follow that path, which is much more effective when you're trying to hide in these levels and throw a bottle to get him out of your way. Like this, for instance. Yeah, so I just figured if the player could kind of move and reposition themselves and see what they were doing, it might feel a little bit better for them. So I decided to just go in all in when I was fixing that bug, and just make it so the player could move, the player could crouch, and you'll see that whether the player is crouched before they aim or after, it still follows the right trajectory. Whether they're standing or crouching, the checks go in every time that the bottle is aimed or the player crouches while they're aiming. And that's about it for that task. I believe there is one more little thing, a couple of small bugs that I'm just going to talk about real quick. I covered all the bugs with the bottle. Sprinting while crouched wouldn't... So it's just a couple bugs with the sprint. So sprinting while crouched wouldn't remove the crouch widget from the screen or reset their ability to crouch. So they'd have to ultimately press crouch twice to actually do it. The sprinting while crouch uncrouches the player and allows sprinting, but does not change the boolean or remove the widget. This blocks the ability to crouch until the player presses C again, and also provides inaccurate feedback. Took me about 45 minutes to fix that. I'm just going to demonstrate real quick that it is removing and properly resetting their crouch. You can see I was crouched. I can do it again. One press, and one press. And then finally, the last bug that I'm going to jump in and talk about and wrap it up with is the sprint still draining while the game is paused. So basically, if the player was sprinting, the sprint would still continue to drain when the game resumed. So I'm just going to demonstrate that that's not the case anymore. So I'm going to run a bit. Pause. And you'll see that my stamina is actually going back up. go. All right. And that's I'm pretty sure that about wraps it up for the Jira tests and bugs. Um, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching.
Hello, my name is Gavin Wood, and this is my final sprint showcase. Going to launch the project. So, as far as Jira tasks go, I'll do a lot of mine. Can't really be showcased like this one. Hiding objects, calling the wrong monster when skill check fails. It was a bug. Make each hiding object have a public variable to select a specific monster. Basically, when you'd fail a skill check, a lot of times it would call the wrong monster. Either the monster was in a completely different location, a floor above, or despawned. So if you failed a skill check, nothing would happen, which defeats the purpose. That was 10 minutes logged on that one. It's pretty self-explanatory. Playtest the build. I have 8 hours logged onto this on one day. And playtest the build and report / fix any bugs that I encounter. Create transition between levels. So as a user story, as a player I want a seamless transition between each level. Description. Create a scene when the player enters the elevator at the end of the level that locks the camera / movement and faces the player towards the closing doors. Then teleport the player to the next level's elevator and have it open the door and restore the player's movement / camera controls. Completion criteria. The transition scene takes place when the player walks into the elevator. The camera / movement is locked and the camera faces the elevator doors. The player successfully teleports to the next level and gets back the movement / camera controls. Original estimate 4 hours. Time logged 4 hours. So this was unfortunately cut at the very last day of before the code freeze. We had a persistent level, and for various reasons we decided to go with each individual level, where when you get to the end of the first one it would load you to the second one. So you didn't really need a seamless transition anymore. Basically now you just walk into the elevator and it will load you to the next elevator or to the next level. So this got cut. This one I can demonstrate now. The remove skill check ramp up. As a player, the skill check ramp up was too buggy and would have issues with the UI elements becoming out of sync the longer the level played on. Description. Currently the skill check has too many issues at this stage of development, and instead of trying to fix a very broken system, it will be, I forgot to include, better to cut and instead just make the default skill check slightly harder. The completion criteria. The skill check revamp no longer exists. Skill check is slightly harder by default. Original estimate 3 hours. Logged 3 hours. So basically, like I said in the description, the game was, or the skill check was too buggy. It works fine default. The ramp up logic was kind of a nightmare, and it had too many bugs to slate into development. It was not really worth the time to keep it. So as you can see now, it's a little harder by default. The bar's smaller, it's faster, but it's not that unbearable, and it does not change. This is basically, it'll pop up in different spots, but it will not get faster. The bar won't get smaller. And yeah, this is pretty much it. So there we go. So for the final one, add stat tracking variables to various systems within the game. User story. As a player, I want to see stats at the end of the level that tells me how well or bad I played. Description. When the player completes a level, they will be presented with their stats showing how many times they died, how long it took to complete the level, how long they hid inside of a hiding object, and how many collectibles they found. Completion criteria. At the end of the level, each stat being tracked is correctly displayed on the win screen. Subtask. Add death variable to player death logic to track how many times the player dies. Add game timer to level to track how long it takes the player to win. Add timer to track how long the player is hiding inside the locker or hiding objects. Add collectible variable to track how many the player has found. So the original estimate throughout all of this was 1 day and 30 minutes, and that's how much I logged. For some reason it says 1 minute remaining, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty specific. Throughout the week, a couple other people messed with, I think some people worked on the death variable, some people worked on the collectible. We all kind of collaborated on this one. So I guess I'll pause and show you at the in-game screen. Okay, so I am back. I completed the level. At the top left here, you see, have the win screen. Right here it shows number of times caught. I did not get caught. Number of times of collectibles. Number of collectibles gathered, 3. Time it took to escape, 5 minutes and 53 seconds. Time spent hiding, 42 seconds. And number of bottles thrown, 2. So that is pretty much it. It's not a ton. We didn't have, it was mainly just bug fixing and removing anything that didn't work that we didn't think we could get to work in time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my showcase. That'll be it. Take care.
Hello, this is Lane Campbell from Team Lunar, and I'm going to be doing the sprint review for Project Shattered Sanity. Right, so this is the level that I created. First we're going to go into the cafeteria area for the first of my tasks. Alright. Here. First one we're going to cover is to deny the player access to the dark areas until they get the flashlight. Spent 2 hours. During the analysis playthrough, player wanted to go into the darkness before getting the required flashlight. So make the path to the dark area inaccessible until the player finds the flashlight and prevent the player from stumbling in the dark. Completion criteria is block the path to the dark area of the cafeteria, include a second door in the kitchen to allow the player to enter the dark area once they find the flashlight. And here we see the path blocked here to the dark areas. You're not able to traverse it, and also you see the dialogue pop up suggesting that the player needs a flashlight. And I'll really quickly also just review the Jira task playtest build, set for 8 hours, log for 8 hours. Once all the other tasks have been completed, playtest the build for bugs and difficulty, make adjustments and report bugs as they occur. Completion criteria is playtest the build until it's free of bugs, report bugs as they occur, and adjust level to balance difficulty. The rest of my tasks all have to do with the master area of the basement, which is in the conference room. So before reviewing these tasks, I'm just going to really quickly get to that section of the level. quick and head back over here. So we have the story here. Redesign the master area of the basement. User story is, as a player, I want the final section of a level to be challenging so that it's fun to play, but not so challenging that I am frustrated and want to quit playing. And that was kind of how I and the rest of us felt about the final area of the basement level. For all the subtasks in this, I spent 1 day, 6 hours, 10 minutes on it. And the completion criteria is the subtasks here, so I'll move on to the first one. Expand the size of the room. The size of the conference room area does not compensate well for requiring the player to throw a bottle to distract the monster, avoid being seen by the ghost enemies, avoid walking on hazards, and hide in time to not be seen by the enemy. Extend the room size so that obstacles can be spaced out, and give the player less to worry about all at one time. Completion criteria is the room has been adequately expanded so that obstacles and enemies can be spaced out. I spent 3 hours, 13 minutes on this task. Real quickly go. And first off, we do have these little sections of rooms, but we will see that the room has been expanded as we go through it. So I'm going to go ahead and review the next task here. How do I do that? Give the player more distance from the enemy and ghosts while throwing bottles. Throwing a bottle to distract the enemy can be difficult to pull off when the area is so heavily guarded by ghosts. The player needs some safer areas to throw bottles from. Spread the enemies in the room out more and don't allow them to patrol in areas that are ideal for the player to throw a bottle. So the completion criteria is create safer areas in the room for the player to easily be able to throw a bottle and keep the enemies from controlling inside the safe areas. This was 3 hours 57 minutes that I logged here. And you can kind of already see one of the iterations of safer areas to throw bottles in this little room that you start out in. I'm in no danger here at all. The enemy's not going to be able to get me here or even see me. And I'm able to throw bottles through this window. I'm also able to throw bottles over this table. I can even throw them over here if I want. And there's more safe areas to look through as well as we go through, but I want to really quickly go back to the Jira board. And that is split the area into rooms to give the player better cover from multiple enemies inside the room, divide the room into sections with walls, include a window or hole of some kind for the player to be able to throw bottles through. That way they can lure the enemy into another section of the room. Completion criteria, divide the room into 2 or more sections with a wall, include a window or holes in the wall so the player can throw bottles through. Logged 4 hours on this task. And of course we've already seen my first one, and there are more walls. We can look across over there to see that. There's another one on the other side of this room that we'll see as we progress through as well. And we also have reduced the number of hazards along the player's main path. The hazards in the room are so frequent that they are nearly impossible to avoid, especially when trying to focus on throwing bottles and avoiding being seen. Reduce the number of hazards in the area, or move a majority of them out of the player's quickest path to decrease difficulty. Completion criteria is reduce the number of hazards of room, or move most of them towards the edges of the room so that they are not all in the player's ideal path. I spent 2 hours with this one. Slight caveat on this one: there are actually more hazards in the room, but they are all blocking areas that the player would not want to go through. These are paths for the monsters to take, and not the golden path for the player. So as we move through, we'll see that there is less hazards in the way that the player would actually want to go through. And as you can see here, there's plenty of them over here, but this is not an ideal path for the player to go through. So one more task to go over real quick. And that is add patrol checkpoints to ensure that enemies are patrolling at the start. Logged 1 hour here. The enemies in this room will not begin patrolling initially in the build. To fix this, include a patrol checkpoint to trigger the patrol state. The completion criteria is to add a patrol checkpoint in a place that the player must cross to trigger the patrol state. Create a build and verify that the enemies are patrolling. We've already seen that our enemies are patrolling in here, primarily this one. I can see the ghost over there moving, and there's one more. The ghost over there is moving as well. I do have the patrol checkpoints in. I do, however, think that it's a moot point, actually, because I did find that building paths made it work without the checkpoints, but they are included in the build as a failsafe as well, just in case they decided to not patrol like they were supposed to, like they did in my last review video. So with that, we can finally start showing off more of this room. So we throw a bottle over there, get the enemy out of our path here. And this safe area existed in the previous version of the room, but I felt like it was well good, so I kept it in this little area too. Instead of blocking the player's path here, I instead opened it up and made it hazards so that the player is not going to want to get there, but there's a way for the enemy to find their way through. Also, I've made a door here that will close behind, and we see the enemy patrolling where we're wanting to move to. And once again, we have I also expanded the area of this room, lit it up a bit more. It was actually really dark in here, and given a window for the player to throw a bottle and distract the enemy. You'll see him go right over there. Opens up the path and allows me to get through. Another significant change to this room, besides it being bigger and expanding this wall that we see over here, is there's a little bit of a maze of desks to go through over here. Not a super difficult one, but this guy here is going to be patrolling it. If you crouch, he cannot see you behind desks. Let's see if I can get him out with a flashlight. I did before he noticed me. Now we see the enemy patrolling right around the place that I want to go to. So once again, I have a good spot to throw a bottle right over there to get him out of my way. There we go. While he's preoccupied, I'll run into this room here. To another separated room with a window, and by this point the player should know exactly what they're supposed to do. Throw another bottle and get him out of the way. And coming into this hallway, we get to the level transition. Go up the elevator, and you've escaped the basement. And hitting continue here will take you to the next level created by my teammate Eris. And that covers everything that I worked on for the sprint. So thank you for watching. Just to show you that it does go into the next level. Here it is.
Alright, hello everyone, my name is Eris Tori, a member of Team Lunar, and welcome to So That No One Will Cry. But there is a new title called Shadow Sanity. So we decided to rename our project called Shadow Sanity, since So That No One Will Cry one actually fit for our horror game. But anyways, let's test our volume first. So we got loud volume, low volume, no music or volume. But we're gonna use that. We're gonna put it all the way up here for some reason. Let's put the sound effect on medium, on high, low, no volume. All right. I mean no sound effect. Sorry. Anyway, let's put it right here. Let's save. Let's go back. Let's go to level select. We're gonna go to the hospital level, which is my level. But before we go through that, there are some things I'd like to show y'all. My Jira task. So we got place the flashlight on level, fix Z fighting, replace the bottles, expand rows in master area, add hazards in the level in the introduction, resize the introduction path, resize the cage room so that the player will have space to throw the bottle, change music, and place patrol checkpoints. Anyway, as you can see here, first of all, I changed the music just because in the persistent level there were different musics that were playing at the same time. So anyway, let's turn on our volume just so y'all can hear me correctly. Alright, so there are bottles in here. We got the expanded into the introduction area, and also there's a flashlight right here. It's flashlight. I'm pretty sure we already know how to use flashlight, but we're gonna have to press F to turn the flashlight on and off. Alright, so it's on, it's off. Let's dash. They are pretty much hazards in the area, so we gotta be careful. Since the enemy's right up. Oh, the enemy's right here, so we gotta be careful. Let's go on this area. Let's go right here. We gotta be careful about the hazard. Alright, that should be good. Be careful, there are hazards in this area. Let's hide here just in case. About the patrol checkpoints, they actually mean like when a player walks towards it, the enemy will move in that room. Alright, let's it'll check the enemy. Let's dash out of there. Okay, so now that we got to the introduction path, let's grab the trophy. Let's go to the checkpoint right here. And let's go to our Jira task. So what we've seen, the flashlight is in the level. So it's 14 minutes logged in. It's like 1 minute original time estimate. Add hazards in level. An hour 3 minutes. 2 hours logged. Not 2 hours. Not logged in. 2 hours time estimate. Resize introduction path. 2 hours 46 minutes. 4 hours logged in. It was like almost 3 hours. Change the music. 10 minutes logged. Not 10 minutes logged up. 10 minutes time estimate, but 5 minutes logged. And let's go back to the game. But so also I replaced the lock door with the button door. So you need to press the button right here. And so we got there's an end right there. So we gotta be careful. Alright, so we gotta wait. So we gotta wait here so we can get the puzzle piece. But first of all, let's go to the loose condition. Hey, come here. And so we were caught. It says you were caught, and there were blood splatter around the screen. All right, open the door yet again. All right. Also, the bottles. The bottles are replaced from the glass bottle throw into glass bottle. The glass bottle throw what causes the static mesh print strings to show up, but the bottle throw blueprint doesn't. So that's why I replaced it. Anyways, let's grab this, the puzzle piece. Pretty much we know what that means. Let's pick it up. Let's dash out of there. Alright, got the puzzle piece completed right there. Let's back up. The enemy might be around here somewhere. There we go. Alright, there we go. Alright, there we go. Let's get the other puzzle piece. The enemy should be around here. There we go. Yep, there he is. So far, no Z fighting in the area, which is good, which is actually better. Which is actually better. All right, so the enemy's right here. Let's hide. Let's run in here. Let's hide in here for a while because we're going to trap the enemy. All right, let's go in here. Let's go right here, and let's press the button right here. There we go. Let's open the door. This ghost enemy right here. There we go. Let's open the door. Let's grab this crowbar. Alright, crowbars and broken doors. And so, oh, whoa. Guess that thing followed me, but at least it didn't kill me. Well, ghost enemies don't really kill, so. Anyway, we grab the crowbar. We already know what that does. So let's walk towards the crowbar. Mash spacebar to break open the door. Let's do that to the crowbar right again. There we go. We gotta be careful because the enemy's somewhere. The cage is broken. Let's hide. Alright, here we go. There's a wrench right here. Oh. Alright, so the wrench. Alright, so now that we use the wrench, the cage is already fixed. The cage is fixed now. Let's press button yet again. let's skedaddle. I think it escaped now. Oh, at least we made it. Now that we made it to the master area, let's see our practice areas. So Z finding so far, we didn't see any Z finding, which is good. We replaced the bottles, which is like not 19 minutes logged in, but it's 30 minutes original time estimate. The bottles. Oh yeah, wait. The bottles should be. I might be wrong about. Wait. Oh, there it is. Oh wait, I already went through that. I'm sorry. Anyway, resize the case so that the player will have space to store the bottles. So it's like 3 hours logged in, 3 hours, 21 minutes logged in. So it's like 4 hours time estimate. About the bottle throws, I wasn't able to throw the bottles because in order to throw the bottles, you need to use both the left mouse button and the right mouse button to roll the right mouse button to aim, and then throw at the same time with the left mouse button. You need to use those buttons at the same time. But I wasn't able to use them because I only have a touchpad and I'm using a laptop. That's what. Anyway, as you can see, the enemy's right here, so we gotta be careful. We don't want to wake him up since the enemy is pretty much sleeping. Let's grab this. All right. We got the puzzle piece. All right. So let's press the button right here. Let's go to the other master area. You see the enemies right here. Let's make them disappear. Let's make the other one disappear. There we go. Let's dash forward. And now we got the last piece of the puzzle. So we gotta quickly walk out of there. And also the master area is resized. We gotta be careful. We gotta get out of there quickly before the enemy catches us. All right, here we go. And now the door is now open. Well, the exit door. But now we're gonna have to use the flashlight again. There we go. I think so. We did everything. But before we leave, let's go to the trophy. So we got 3 trophies in the level. But we're gonna get another crowbar. But we can't because we already have a crowbar. So let's break down this one right here. And here we go. And so now that we have finished the level, we have escaped. So the number of times we have gotten caught is one. So the number of collectibles gathered 3. Time that it took to escape, which is 9 minutes and 41 seconds. Time spent hiding, which is 12, which is 0 and 12, 0 to 12, 0 to 12 seconds. I think I'm not sure. Number of bottle thrones 0, like I said, because I don't have to add like a mouse. Anyways, back to the Jura backlog. So what we've seen. Z finding a level. We have never seen any Z finding, which is a great thing. So 2 hours, 20 minutes, 26 minutes logged in, but 3 hours original time estimate. Expand rooms in master area, which is pretty much 3 hours to 8 minutes. to figure something out what can I do for the master area, and 4 hours time estimate. And now let's go to patrol checkpoints and introduction practice at master areas was 3 hours. So like 2 hours and 9 minutes estimate, but it was 3 hours long. Well, not 3 hours long. Well, 2 hours 9 minutes logged in, but 3 hours at time estimate. So that was everything. That was every Jira task that was estimated, and this is where you escape to a level. But the full level, pretty much, is first needs to go to the basement level, and then you're gonna go to the hospital level, which is my level. And that is all. And that is all. That is all for me for my Jira task. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.